what can I say about this show? So if you possible spoilers. So if you don't have Disney Plus, don't worry about it. If you saw the clips that came out before the first episode of the show, you pretty much saw 70% of this episode, unless you really need to see her become She-Hulk and how it happened and why it happened. Then I guess you can watch it, or maybe just look it up. Somebody will have spoilers up. But you pretty much saw it outside of the Daredevil part. Now I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This show was not terrible. It wasn't terrible. Was it great? Was it amazing? Absolutely not, but it was okay. In some parts, it was even entertaining. I'm not gonna lie to you. But was it terrible? It wasn't. Now I will warn you guys, if you're those individuals who don't like wokeness at any level, light, medium, heavy, spicy, teriyaki, whatever seasoning or sauce of wokeness you don't like, do not watch this episode. This episode is gonna piss you off. Honestly, I know, because there were some moments in here where that happened and it was really heavy and I just rolled my eyes. So stay away from the show if those things bother you. You're not gonna make it through this episode. But overall, I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the positive things I will say about this episode is at least the CGI that was in the first trailer is way better in here. Way better in the show, especially on She-Hulk herself. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place. Maybe they were in a time crunch. It doesn't matter. But all I can do is critique what I saw. And I purposely stayed away from critiquing those trailers because I feel like I couldn't say anything that people didn't already say. But anyways, the CGI is a whole lot better in here. The hair is kind of weird to me sometimes. It feels like when they play wrestling games, the way that the hair move. But otherwise, I don't know, this is gonna sound misogynistic a little bit, but when she turned into She-Hulk, she gets a little thick though. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, that's really great. The banter between her and Bruce Banner is very, very entertaining. At times, kind of funny. Sometimes the joke don't really land, but for the most part, it was entertaining. Because I walked into this knowing that this is a show that was aimed towards women 30 years of age plus, right? I already knew what the demographic they were trying to aim at. I already knew that this was a hokey comedy. I was never like one of those guys who was a big fan of shows like that, like Ally McBeal or Sex in the City or Girlfriends. I never really liked those shows. So I guess for me saying this show is decent, maybe it's a good thing. It's at the level of like if you go on Netflix and you find like a random show to watch with your girl and it's like a romance comedy type of thing, and then you're like, oh, that was a decent show. I may not watch it again, but it's a decent show. But overall, one of the main things I don't like about the show, some of the comedy, some of the wokeness, of course, we already talked about that. But overall, the way she becomes She-Hulk, it doesn't piss me off. But I think because they didn't go the route of the comic book, it was just kind of weird because it made it feel like that it was just they just kind of brushed over it. Like they was like, oh yeah, she's here, she's gonna turn to She-Hulk. All right, let's keep it moving. It wasn't as dramatic as it was in a comic, and maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe they didn't do that because they wanted to reserve the tone of the show. But I don't think if they did it the way it was in a comic book, it would ruin the tone of the show because the rest of the show was still hokey. And having a serious moment and having it convert into a comedy isn't something new to the MCU. They do this all the time. Like the Avengers could be in New York and destroy a building of 10,000 people dying, and then they find a way to make some type of quirky joke. They do that. So I don't know why they didn't do it here, but that didn't really piss me off that much. And the end of the episode was kind of weird. The way it ended, it kind of reminded me of like the cheap way the movies like in the 90s and the early 2000s used to do to let you know, hey, we got a script for a sequel. Like it's like, well, this is a episodic series, so we know there's going to be another episode. So when you guys see that part, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of people had a gripe about the joke that she made about Steve Rogers in the beginning. There is an end credit scene that kind of attaches itself to that joke that can make that make a little bit more sense, and maybe that'll change your mind about the joke. I don't know. To each their own. For me, it was like, oh, okay, and then I just kept moving. But overall, if you walk into this thing, or you go into this thing, or you stream this thing with the mentality that I do, it's gonna be a lot of wokeness. It's just gonna be hokey comedy. Not to take it seriously, you might enjoy it. If you walk into it like expecting certain things to be a certain way outside of what you already know about it, you're gonna be pissed off. So, but anyways, at the end of the day, I think it was a pretty decent show. Am I gonna check out episode 2? If I don't have anything else to watch on Thursday, then I may check it out. But what do you guys think? Did you guys see the episode? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.